Being a Malaysian in Melbourne is it feels quite homely. I think there's a lot of Malaysians here, whether they have emigrated here or whether they're students studying, but there's a massive Malaysian community, and I never feel like I'm away from home. We have a lot of good restaurants, Malaysian restaurants here, that makes me not miss Malaysian food too much, and I think the ingredients that we get here in Australia is fairly easy, and being a cook myself, I can cook Malaysian food.
Oh, I think it's fantastic. I think there's a lot of similarities between Melbourne and growing up in KL, because both places embraces differences. They celebrate diversity, and people work, and they work hard, and they work together. But I think the opportunity to work with different communities, from the Indian community to the African communities to the Malaysian community. So I think it's that diversity that brings Melbourne to life.
When I first came, most of my friends were all Italians, Greeks. It was more than 30 years ago, so I was in a very white Australian environment. But surprisingly, I never faced what was called racial discrimination, or ever to use the word women of colour. So we became one, and I still have them as my close friends even today, after 30 years.
Well, originally when I migrated over here, I was kind of worried I cannot find my nasi lemak lah, roti canai lah, mi goreng lah, and all that. Yeah, so with that, having those kind of cravings, I started cooking on my own. So I came up with my very own nasi lemak and all that, and that helped to settle my cravings.
I think we are very lucky because we are one of the communities who are really close to one another. It's very close-knit. I think in Malaysia, it's not very large, but still I think we are enough to make it very festive. Everyone loves one another. When we get together, it's awesome.
For me, my favorite Malaysian food would have to be either nasi lemak or my mum's asam pedas. So I don't know, it's a hard one, but I like all Malaysian food. I also love laksa Johor. So there's a few to choose from.
I love nasi lemak and roti canai and char kway teow.
And you always say Malaysians eat
24 hours a day. Makan 24 hours.
I think the right answer should be family, but I think food and friends are a critical part of that component as well. I do love the Malaysian language, be it the mix of all languages in one sentence and one conversation, but I think that's the best thing we connect with. I grew to like it even more when I'm away now.
If you're a Malaysian, you'll always be a Malaysian. That's irrespective. You still say, I miss home. Even though I lived here for 30 years, you still can't forget Malaysia. You still look for Malaysian food. You still want to know where's the best char kway teow. And of course, food is the center of our life.
I really hope that there shouldn't be any partition or distinction between Malay, Chinese, and Indian and so other races. I really want one nation and one country, one people.
I just like to wish Malaysia a happy Malaysia Day. It's your 57th birthday this year, and I think we are heading in the right direction in terms of progressing together as a nation. It's not easy because there's so many different cultures to please, but I think we're doing a great job so far, and keep going at what we're doing. At the end of the day, we just need to progress together as one, as a nation.
I think for Malaysia, I wish it would continue to be a peaceful and harmonious country despite all the different religions. I think that's the best thing we should be very proud about. Continue to prosper. People will continue to love one another and support each other.
I would like to see the country really going and strengthening as one. That was how I remember when I grew up, and that is what I'd love to see Malaysia being the old Malaysia, where everybody loves, care, and think of each other, and there are no silos anywhere.
My birthday wish is to stop calling each other Chinese, Malay, Indians, or prefer to call one another as Malaysians.